He would have hated someone like you. No, he would have respected me because I'm my own person and I know how to have my own thoughts.
Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century.
Political debates have always been messy, but lately they've turned into digital battlefields. And after the shocking murder of Charlie Kirk, that divide has only deepened. Everyone's shouting, no one's listening, and it's nearly impossible to tell who's arguing in good faith and who's just weaponizing outrage. But what if AI could actually measure fairness? Imagine every participant in a debate getting a real-time fairness score, analyzing truthfulness, emotional manipulation, and even hate speech. Today on Mindblowers, we explore how AI might just become the ultimate referee in the age of chaos.
Attempted to use race to divide the American people.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs.
When you see a debate, for example, the presidential election debate between, for example, Trump and Kamala Harris, can you actually tell who is the bully and who is trying to indoctrinate you? If you read an article from your favorite newspaper, can you tell if it's fair or you're being indoctrinated by the opinions of the journalists? I think this is one of the big problems in today's society, and what is happening is that our society is becoming more and more polarized. Can AI help us? That is what I'm discussing today with one of the leading voices in AI in Denmark, Steffen Kirkegaard. We have each developed an AI tool that can actually help in an objective way to see who is the bully and who is debating in a fair way. We're going to look at the presidential debate, Trump versus Harris. We're going to look at some of the debates regarding Charlie Kirk, with people labeling him as a fascist, while other people is saying he's a hero. So who are fair in those debates? So, Steffen, what shocked you the most when you heard about Charlie Kirk's death and the days after?
Well, actually, the commentary and Twitter and social media, I met many people who's actually think that it's okay that he got shot because now they have the right to do something like this. That's really shocking.
Yeah, I agree. I felt the same. I mean, of course, I was shocked about what happened, but I was even more shocked with the ordinary people. I mean, there were so many politicians from both sides coming out with really decent statements.
Yeah.
And then we just saw like one comment after the other with labels like fascist and racist, like no grace period, just attack after attack. But you actually did something about it.
I tried something out with a scoreboard that is interesting, I think, to how debates are working online. You will have an option to actually go in and have a second opinion on what's going on. So I tried this out with some of the Charlie Kirk interviews. There is, of course, something like this on YouTube where you can find the best of Charlie Kirk's. And also I tried it on Zelensky.
Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should.
Have you ever been to Ukraine? Did you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President.
You know, when he was in the Oval Office, that didn't went well. Second time it went better. So there was also an option to actually maybe more understand what's going on in election, and you have Kamala Harris and Donald Trump to watch each other. I also tried it on something that was a really clutter. There's a lot of people that we don't know the names of. They are streamers from the United States on a Piers Morgan show where they just go haywire. You know, it's just a discussion where you're like, oh my God, they're just peeling their heads off each other like a bunch of chickens. So it doesn't go well.
One interesting observation is that people tend not to see kind of defamation or hate speech when it comes from the side they support, while they immediately call out when it's people they're opposed to. And this kind of just adds to the whole polarization, which is why I guess this is really important work you're doing here. try to tell a little bit more about this first example.
Why do you find this funny?
Well, let me just say that I actually am a big advocate for dark humor.
Piers Morgan is a well-known figure coming from CNN, got fired over there, and now he has his own show on YouTube, around 40 million people. But he loves to bring people in who are very disagreeing. So they oftenly have these debates that goes crazy, and people are shouting and talking over each other's voices, and for some people that is not a way to discuss, and that is not nice television or something like this. But that's also why it's called uncensored, because that was why he got kicked from CNN in the first place, that there was too much of this raging or hate speech or people are going crazy. So the tool is in some way able, I will say that this is AI, of course, so it's only in its infancy. Here, what the one part is saying over the other, I think that this tool could actually help me to understand better who should I actually listen to the other part here. And also when it comes to the echo chamber that people tend to go into that you forgot, and then the AI would be able to, first of all, dissecate what's going on in this debate, who's who's doing the cherry picking, who's doing the hate speech, who's doing factual tellings, and all these options. We will look into this as well, so you can dissecate the whole thing and find out, okay, what's mostly to me, who has the most points, and think about if this was happening in real time in a political debate, or if you're dating somebody or you're into a job interview, you would be able to use these scores when you're there, and it will also count for yourself.
Let's just introduce this debate. I mean, I don't even know all the participants, but Riley Gaines, I know her. She is part of Turning Point USA, I think, the organization that Kirk was a part of. She's also an elite swimmer and was very vocal about male swimmers being in female competitive sports. There's Brian Shapiro. I think, I mean, he has his own kind of talk show or podcast, and he is slightly leaning towards the Democrats, I think, in his opinion. And then we have Lucas Bain, who's also a content creator, but very critical of Charlie Kirk. And then Jillian Michaels. I don't know that much about her, but I know she's kind of pro Charlie Kirk as well.
The guy that I'm was looking mostly into, actually this guy has a high score, but that is not always the best, because in this situation, Lucas Byrne is high on defamation. So the total score here is actually not a good score. It should be lower, I would say.
Exactly. Yeah. So just before we see the clip, what we want here are low scores, right? Low scores mean that you're not kind of using your opinions as a fact. You're not using defamation. You're not closed in your dialogue. But let's have a look at the clip here.
All right, cool.
Absolutely. I was on the air, Pierce, when it all happened. I got emotional. The first thing I thought about were his kids and his family. This is not only bad for Charlie Kirk, obviously, and bad for his family. It's bad for America.
I've been pointed out to me that you've posted some messages about Charlie Kirk on your Instagram, which we're going to show here. One is a post that's a parody of a Jubilee debate. I'm doing one of these myself soon, titled Charlie Kirk versus Bullet. Can one bullet to the neck outsmart one conservative? Well, that was a short watch. Number two is a mocked up promotion poster called Kirk and Twerk at Neck of the Woods, and hashtagged both Charlie Kirk and his widow. And the third was an image of a sunrise titled God Works in Mysterious Ways, with the hashtag Charlie Kirk killing and praying hands as an emoji. And you're laughing as I show these. Why do you find this funny?
Well, let me just say that I actually am a big advocate for dark humor. And I happen to have gotten a bit of a taste of that over the last, I don't know, maybe decade or so, when it came to the right and their memes of George Floyd. Happy birthday being sober for 5 years. When they came to their memes of Breonna Taylor, when it came to their memes of Trayvon Martin, the Trayvon challenge, right? When it came to their memes of Tamir Rice. So I don't know what the issue is. I think I'm engaging in the freedom of speech.
I find this exceptionally sad because, Lucas, you talk about how hurt you were and how offended you were by such despicable things, and then you became the thing that you found the most repulsive, which is alarming, and as I mentioned, deeply saddening. I would be more than happy to litigate some of Charlie's positions for you. I abjectly...
I don't think I
mean,
need
on
any
its
litigation
face-
from a woman who tried to downplay slavery, who tried to all lives matter slavery after
wanna
she
discuss
purchased a
that?
black child.
What is your view of what you've been hearing?
I mean, honestly, like it makes me feel tearful. Like I have experienced all of the emotions over the past week. It has been to the day 7 days. I think initially starting with total shock and disbelief and honestly confusion. I've been so blessed in my life to not have been surrounded by death much in my family. I haven't lost really anyone close to me. Charlie was a friend, a mentor of mine. He's who ultimately I attribute to giving me my voice.
In what way?
What is the lie?
Name me one prominent.
there?
Name me one. Hey Riley, name me one prominent Democrat that has celebrated the death. And I find it very interesting. You've made a living attacking transgenders. You've made millions of dollars across the country doing that.
I didn't
if
ask
you
for
truly
this.
care about, I didn't
ask
listen.
for the
I'm sorry
position
you
that
lost
I'm
your
in.
friend. Okay, hold on a second. Yes, in this case you have. You've made millions
have
of
not.
dollars profiting, going across the country. You've made a lot of money and you've made a name for yourself. Nobody knows who you are as a college swimmer unless you're attacking transgenders.
Entertaining TV.
Yeah.
But so what try to explain how AI has been able to analyze this debate. I mean, what is AI doing?
Yeah.
What tools are you using?
So what I'm doing, I'm using Gemini here, and I put it in, write a prompt, help me analyze this video from YouTube, and after this, I clicked on Canvas, which is a part of Gemini from Google, and I said, build me a website where you explain these in a scoreboard. Goes in, look at the script from the transcript from YouTube. So it's all the text that is coming from the YouTube clip, and then it goes in and analyze on that. So this, what we're talking about here, is a tool that could be running in real time as well. I think we should talk about this a bit later.
Let's try and explain a little bit here. So I see as part of the conclusions here, body language is used as well, which kind of stunned me when I first saw your tool here. How is that even possible?
It has to be looking at the video, and now it's YouTube that is owned by Google. So there is a lot of connection to tools that can do this. I tried to put it in there because I thought that was funny, and that was an interesting thing to look at the body language. Now it's talking heads, so there's not too much body language here.
Okay, let's try and have a closer look at the scoreboard. So I think one of the things we see in this very polarized debate is opinion as a fact. So basically what it is that people would say it's a fact that the American economy is now worse than 1 year ago, or it's a fact that Charlie Kirk is a fascist, for example, right? But actually people are expressing an opinion that can be pretty difficult to prove, and very often they don't provide the proof. They just say it's a fact, even though it's really opinion, right? Defamation is basically a personal attack, isn't it?
The harder version of that is, of course, stigmatization, where they're trying to stigmatize you and tell that you are something. Most of the time you're using a strawman argument, like you like them. Then you're trying to stigmatize you as a part of a group that you might not even have anything to do with. You can actually bring people in to court with defamation acts that actually keeps you get you out of that situation. That's what Trump did to some of the television stations, because he thinks that he's been defamated by them. So he actually got money from this already because they.
I think hate speech. I think most people know what that is. Normally, it's used against like a specific group where you say really bad things about them. So maybe let's just talk about absolutes. What that means in a dialogue.
absolute. You conclude something, so that you being absolute towards others. You concluding this is how it is, meaning that you're making a statement and saying that this is how it is. When you're being absolute, you're not being a friendly person towards other.
Yet I guess that leads us to the next one, right? Closing dialogue, right? So if you say, very interesting, what's your opinion? That would be open dialogue. The closing one is that you're not really, you're not opening up the discussion. You're not allowing other people, to speak their opinion. Cherry picking, it seems that they are all doing it to like some extent, but that is just like picking up small facts here and there and using it to build your argument, but not looking at kind of the whole pack of evidence. We can definitely see that Lucas in this dialogue is the one using most of these kind of dirty tricks to get his opinion across.
I want to conclude on this dialogue that Lucas is the guy that I would look into what not to do. It works, but at the end of the day, I don't think that he gets most of the people on his side from what he's doing.
I think it's a good point. You probably don't change people's minds with it, right? I mean, if you have somebody who is thinking that like Charlie Kirk is a racist or whatever he is saying, if people already think that, they'll probably hail what he's saying, say exactly 100%, etc. But it's very unlikely with this language that he would change the mind of somebody who actually likes Charlie Kirk. I think in those instances, it's very important to not use like the closed dialogue.
You don't think that he's winning people over, but I think that he wins his audience.
I think let's look at another video example. I know that you've done one with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump as well. So you want to introduce it a little bit? What debate you chose?
Well, this is the known election debate where she didn't win. But anyways, after this debate, all the left-wing television station came out and said that she won. And again, now I just put it into the same template.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there. She has a plan to confiscate everybody's gun.
President Trump,
she has a plan.
Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
I don't know. I mean, all I can say is I read where she was not black, that she put out. And I'll say that. And then I read that she was black.
I mean, honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career, attempted to use race to divide the American people.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
You talk about extreme.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body. I have talked with women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted?
She hates Israel. She wouldn't even meet with Netanyahu when he went to Congress to make a very important speech. But just so you understand, they sent her to negotiate peace before this war started. 3 days later, he went in and he started the war.
Yet again, I said it at the beginning of this debate, you're going to hear a bunch of lies coming from this fellow. And that is another one. When I went to meet with President Zelensky, I've now met with him over 5 times. The reality is it has been about standing as America always should. If Donald Trump were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. So I think you've heard tonight two very different visions for our country. One that is focused on the future, and the other that is focused on the past.
She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it?
Well, here it's actually Donald Trump who's losing because he has the highest score. Because I think that now he's president, he changed his way. But when he's trying to beat people, he's doing the same as Lucas. He's using defamation. He's using all this cutting off and all this, and it works. So he wins over he wins his audience, but he has a hard time winning new people over. He did that in other programs, not in these debates.
Yeah, I think that's true. Probably, I think he won some votes going on maybe Joe Rogan, for example, or Lex Friedman, which Kamala didn't do. But I think first of all, it's very important that we're not trying to frame any political side here. We'll have some examples where both left and right definitely misuse these techniques, and I think that's the key point here. Try to, analyze, also the people you root for and say, okay, but they might also play unfair.
I would use it as a tool to say to this guy, you should probably act different if you want to win some people over.
Just try to go through your score. So it's of course not only Trump who is using some of these slightly dirty tricks, but try to go through some of the areas where he is scoring high.
The first one is opinion of facts as facts. That is we all know that he's doing that. You could probably ask it to pin it out if you want to, and ask this AI to say, okay, go deeper into this dialogue and actually make a full report on what it is. But now it's not a study in that; it's more a tool that we want to use in a aftermath. But maybe in the future, we will have Ray-Ban glasses on, and we will be able to get these scores right away, because you have maybe like you produced this.
Yeah, you alluded a little bit to it before, but one of the things that shocked me a lot after the murder of Charlie Kirk was what I saw on social media, and not just the videos, but even more the comments actually. And I personally try to go in and write as neutrally as possible. For example, saying we should celebrate the people who has a human reaction that's kind of decent. I took an example from Bernie Sanders, for example, who I think addressed this in a nice way. So Bernie Sanders is definitely to the left of what I believe. Kirk is much more conservative than I am. But I thought everybody could kind of celebrate, saying, okay, whether we like Bernie or we like Kirk or we're somewhere in the middle, this is a nice message from Bernie. I was quite shocked. I was attacked left and right. And we can try and have a look at some of the examples. And I think potentially, I was probably attacked more from the left than from the right, and it's probably because there were more people on the left feeling that I was coming after them by saying, let's label a little bit less. Let's keep a grace period before we start labeling and using hate speech about people. I also did a lot of fact checking, like, can you actually label Charlie Kirk as a fascist? And what I came down to is, well, it very much depends on your opinion, really, what kind of quotes you want to take out, how much you want to take the quotes out of the context. But let's try to look at first an example here where we are looking at, I don't know if the person is left wing, but an example of a response We can see it on the screen now here. So basically, it's this is a comment, attacking everything Charlie Kirk stood for, and we're just running it through the AI tool that I built that is designed for articles, for comments, for posts, and is looking for basic three things like how unfair is it, and it's looking for things exactly like your model. Are you stating your own opinions as facts? Are you using hate speech and so on? Look at media articles from the left and from the right. So this tool, which is also available on the website, I'll link to it in the description. You can, for example, see there's one example of this newspaper called Intercept. I'm pretty sure it leans left. And then another example here from Fox News. It's pretty well known that Fox News leans to the right, often reflecting conservative framing in how stories are told. Looking at this article about Hillary Clinton promoting a book on so-called fascists, you can see that pattern. The piece focuses heavily on Republican and conservative reactions, using charged terms like firestorm, sick people, and disgusting rhetoric. There's little space given to Clinton's or Randy Weingarten's side of the story beyond one short quote. That imbalance gives the article a somewhat unfair tone, leaning toward outrage rather than analysis. Still, it's easy to see why the reactions were strong. The timing, coming shortly after the killing of Charlie Kirk, made the word fascist feel especially provocative to many on the right. So overall, this is a good example of how framing and selective emphasis can subtly tilt reporting even when the facts themselves are correct. The New York Times editorial board published a detailed piece arguing that Donald Trump should not return to the presidency. The article is strongly worded and clearly takes a position describing him as unfit for office and critical of the Republican Party's direction. While editorials are designed to express opinion, this one leans heavily to the left and uses definitive language that leaves little room for alternative views. Overall, it's a well-crafted argument, but one that reflects a high level of political bias and limited fairness in tone. And we can see how both newspapers are relatively manipulative in their style of reading, their style of writing to people. So what I think is quite important is whether you really disagree with an article or you really agree, try to run it through the tool, the same with the video. Try to see, are you being manipulated? If you love something, maybe it's because you're just in your echo chamber, kind of solidifying your own ideas. If something really rubs against you, then it's the opposite, right?
Well, first of all, there's one way to make money on stories is that they are clickbaits. So when you know that your audience wants to hear this, you get clicks. That's what brings and makes the engine run around. So you know that those medias are biased because they're trying to solidify their own audience and give them a reason to be with them and stay with them. So those are dividers. The medias are not. They're not there to actually make us knowledgeable about each other's opinion. And the custom GPT that you built there could be a tool for this. The GPT that I'm using here with the Canvas and Gemini could also be a tool for this if it's being refined. Right now it's only in the testing and for the fun of it. I think, can it actually do this? And we have this good discussion about it. And I think that we would be a better world where and I'm definitely for democracy and for free speech, pluralism. Bring it together, talk about it, find out why you think that the other guy is an idiot, and maybe they were not, because they had this story with them. They had this has happened to them. That's why they react like they do. And we're all human beings, and we all have a story. So I think that we should sit together. I'm not going kumbaya and all campfire here, but I'm trying to say that there is a reason why we should have tools to look into what are we being presented for. So these 2 articles could be fun to run through as well, and you did. So let me hear what you actually get out of this. Do you think that we have an option to do this? Be more plural?
I think so. I mean, at least having access to a tool like this, I would run my own comments if it's something I believe strongly in, and I think there's a danger that I might go too far. Then I would definitely run it through this prompt to see if can I formulate this in another way, because it's not about not having strong opinions. It's about presenting them in a way so we can debate them. I mean, that is kind of the difference, right?
Yeah.
It's not about agreeing. It's about having a nice debate.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. And then I think it's very important that we don't keep shooting at each other. Like, there are media that are left-wing that will definitely always have that agenda of, for example, making Trump look bad. But there are also media like, for example, Fox News, who are trying to make Trump look really good and the left look really bad, right? So I think sometimes running the articles that we read through a filter just to say, am I being manipulated? Is not a bad idea.
When it comes to running things through a filter like this, there is also, it's kind of a backward engineering that you can do. You can also see some of the articles has been prompted in the right way.
So the game is a little bit rigged against us, as I see it, because media, digital media in general, right, basically has the algorithms designed to have you watch longer. And they have discovered that human nature is that you will watch longer with content you agree with. So it will actually not serve you a lot of content you disagree with. They will serve you more of what you already believe in. At the same time, there's this mania of short form content. You have to catch the attention in the beginning, right? Which means you kind of see these extreme quotes. So if I say something extreme about one person, that quote will be taken out and played and played and played again, which will again lead to a very unnuanced view about people. The question is whether AI somehow can be a checks and balance against this via fact checking. Do you think AI could be the antidote?
I think that we're on the right track, but what we're talking about right now and using AI to actually fact check what's up and down in this story.
What kind of dangers do you see? I'm just thinking like you can impact the AIs as well, right? I mean, if somebody really wanted to label you, you could do a lot of SEO optimizing, and in the places where AI looks the most, they could write somebody's a fascist 1,000 times. To your understanding of AI, do you think you can put in kind of like filters saying, we need to look at original content from the person before we make a judgment call?
Sure, that will be a possibility. That it's not clickbaits or just articles from obscure websites that you never heard about, which you use to link build in SEO, of course, and factual check, like, did that person actually do this, or the YouTube clip where you actually see the video of people doing this. But we're moving into to a dangerous path here, because this video built by you and me, or recorded by you and me, can be used to create new avatars of us where we can sit and say stuff. You even know that because you are using an avatar in some of your podcasts, because you can, and that is the future that we have.
Cool. It's been fantastic having you. I hope we can develop these AI tools even further It's been very interesting.